which brings us to the top of our mid-tier picks. Pick number 4, Blackberry, BBRY, with trailing 12 revenue of $1.7 billion, always a surprise to me, and a market cap of only $3.9 billion. And this is an interesting one because BlackBerry, for a long time, early on in their days, clearly an innovator, clearly on the right side of Moore's law. They lost that focus. They focused too much on the minutia and the task at hand, and they missed the shift from hardware and software to software
into a platform.
But they've now corrected that. They have jettisoned the last of their hardware.
Right.
And are
so
back
that
on
so
track.
that $1.7 billion is going to shrink. But here's the thing: the reason why it's an attractive acquisition target is there's some aspects of that hardware that's never going to go away. Like there are some people who will just continue to buy BlackBerries, some organizations that really like the hardware, the security that's baked in. But what you really like about BlackBerry is the software business. They have a whole suite of products that have to do with mobile device management and security. Their execution may not be the best right now, but you're not getting it. It's not that expensive either. And I think the real sweet part of BlackBerry is they have a fantastic IP portfolio. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I know it's over 1,000 patents. It might be up to 2,000, and a lot of them are really sort of the critical patents for different kinds of mobile security and mobile network, sort of operations and so forth. So that could be very valuable to somebody that doesn't want to pay a royalty to somebody else, i.e., maybe Google. Google's got a lot of patents from Motorola. They could add to it. There's a lot of those kind of players that might be looking for some really valuable IP out there.
Yeah, if you look at potential acquirers and what they would be attracted to BlackBerry, not only does the IP portfolio make it become extremely compelling to an acquirer, but I also think that if you look at where computing is going and how mobile is such an integral part of computing in the future, it is now, and it will obviously grow going forward. I think that that mobile device management opportunity is significant, and it will accelerate over the next 3-5 years. And I'm actually very impressed with what BlackBerry did with the recent acquisition.
Yeah,
and
the good act.
Right. It actually opened up the market opportunities for these guys, and significantly made them, in my mind, much more attractive.
Okay. So our picks in terms of acquirers here in order of what we consider the fit or the fit and likelihood combination: Microsoft, Alphabet/Google, Amazon, Qualcomm. As well as I don't think we'd be surprised to see a PE firm step in and go, we can groom this.
Yeah. Another. It just occurred to me. So any of these cellular base station makers as well, because a lot of those patents have to do with relay for data, particularly like fundamental stuff that people have forgotten about, because when BlackBerry was doing it, it was over 2G networks, right? But crazier things have happened, but even a ZTE or a Huawei or a Nokia or an Ericsson, any of the the old line, quote unquote old line telecom equipment vendors that have certainly consolidated a lot. I didn't mention Nokia in there because they're still digesting Alcatel Lucent, and then perhaps that's that would kind of prevent them from getting involved. But how about an Ericsson? It could definitely be considered, or maybe one of the Japanese vendors that wants to make a comeback in that space.
Right. So BlackBerry is a revival in the Samadhi Capital Partners client portfolio. And just to clarify something here, John,
Sure.
You mentioned that with the departure of the hardware shift, the revenue numbers are going to adjust a bit.
Yep.
I believe they're licensing the manufacturing and the development.
That's right.
To third parties there. What kind of a pullback on the revenue do you expect?
Oh, I wouldn't be surprised if the revenue falls by 40%.
That's significant.
Yeah, but the good news, there's good news. The good news is you're basically losing a business that's not making any money. So in terms of the earnings impact, it actually will be, I think, getting out of the hardware business will be significantly accretive to earnings. Already 30% of their revenue is software, and we all know software is much higher in terms of gross margin, even op margin. And it's growing at a good 25 to 30% clip. So, you got that. Oh, and the other thing about BlackBerry is is almost $4 billion market cap. Yeah, I think it was, I can't remember. I think it's about $1 billion or $1.5 billion of that is net cash. So the real value, so it's actually what you're really buying if you were to acquire the company is probably, you get the whole thing for, I don't know, probably plus the premium, probably in the range of $2.5 to $3 billion.
Right, and I know they do have they're carrying some heavy long-term debt, but that looks to
net
be
cash
debt.
though. Yeah, I subtracted out the net. That's still it's a weird little animal that way. But the other thing is, of course, again, I'll go back to that IP portfolio because that's stuff that's hard to that's unique. You can't find that anywhere. Those patents are patents. So anyway.
All right, so that's the top of our mid-tier picks. So